Hello and welcome to FPSKivotos. I'm your host Bridge, and let's get started. On today's episode, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite clumsy police officer, Kirino. Kirino's firearm of choice is the Smith & Wesson Model 360, chambered in .38 Special, while mine is the Taurus 856, which is also chambered in .38 Special. Getting straight into it, let's talk about the similarities. Right here, obviously, let's talk about the color. Obviously, I went with a white base coat on the Revolver frame, and then I went with a nice purple accent color on the grip, as well as the hammer, the trigger, and the ejector. This was a very, very fun one to paint. I've never, ever owned and or even fucking painted a Revolver before, and so I had to take off every single individual piece and completely learn how to gunsmith one of these damn things and take it all apart and get everything kind of sorted out and painted. It was honestly kind of intimidating, but really fun to do at the exact same time. I'm really impressed with how it turned out overall. Matched my best with the color of the hammer, trigger, and even the little screws here. When it comes to the grips, this is the Hogue pistol grip for these kind of J-frame revolvers. As you can see here, I have the little KSPD logo right here. This was a bitch to paint on there. This is painted, the entire grip is painted. It is a rubber grip. Rubber does not like paint very well. I had to paint this fucking grip like 3 times, or 4 times maybe, I don't remember exactly. It took a while because the paint would just scrape off, you know, all that fun stuff. I even tried to put a clear coat on there, and I literally peeled off the entire coat. Like, it didn't even look like it was fucking painted after I was done with it. I'm like, alright, what the fuck ever, I guess. And trying to get this stencil on there with how it's patterned was also a pain. It's not the exact same color as hers, but honestly, it looks, you can tell it's the logo for KSPD, so I'll fucking take it. Like, on this side, you can already kind of tell it's chipping off again. I don't really care. Like, these are gonna get fucking shot, and the paint's gonna scrape off, so I'm not really worried about it at the end of the day. But other than that, since it's just a nice J-frame revolver, the similarities are, I got it as close as I possibly can, and I'm really proud of myself for that. Really, the biggest difference between mine and hers is this little, like, it's kind of like a block shape here in the front. I thought about getting something 3D printed to go there to have that shape. I obviously wouldn't be able to get the vented holes that she has on the barrel. For obvious reasons, I couldn't do that. But when I opened up the Revolver, since I never owned one, it has this little swivel function here, obviously. So this little gap probably would have been a little bit of a bitch to design around, so I decided to avoid that. And as we were shooting it, the paint was getting scraped off this part of the Revolver, so, you know, it is what it is. But really, that's about it when it comes to the differences. Like, it's pretty damn close. It's not the Model 360, but it's really goddamn close to what it is, and I'm really proud with how it turned out overall. With that out of the way, let's talk about her battle animations. If you guys have been enjoying this episode so far, please make sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe button, and make sure to handcuff yourself to the nearest bike rack.
When it comes to battle animations, she has 2 different reloads, one for standing and one for being behind cover. She opens the cylinder up, drops the rounds. It doesn't actually show any rounds just because they're really, really small, so I imagine they didn't have time to animate those. Slaps in a fresh set of 6 rounds and flings the cylinder back into place. And she does that with every single reload, and she's very fast and smooth with it. As you probably noticed in my firing footage, I wasn't really the fastest at doing it. It's my very first Revolver, so trying to get that reload down with my speed loader was a little bit hard. I'll have to get used to it, especially as a left-handed shooter as well, and having to switch hands and everything like that. But in due time. She has a very nice stance when she's shooting as well, keeping herself very stable and trying her best to stay on target. Even though in her Momo talk she misses a lot, or hits a different target, I should say. When it comes to her crouch animations, she does the exact same thing, flings the cylinder out, drops the shells, puts some new ones in, and flings it back in. Her passive skill is called Suppressing Violence, where she just takes one high-powered shot at a target, which I believe debuffs them. One of the cutest things that she does is her EX skill. During her EX skill, she grabs her megaphone, starts yelling at probably some patrons that are trying to disturb the peace, grabs a smoke grenade, tries to pull the pin, it drops, and she has to kick it over to the targets. When it lands, it does an initial burst of damage, and then it has a smoke cloud that basically reduces the enemy's accuracy for a short amount of time. She's definitely not the best striker in the game, but she is very unique with her style of shooting and her firearm and everything about her skill, really, just having the smoke screen as well. Even though she is very clumsy, she kind of knows her way around the firearm just a little bit, you know, enough to work in the game. Obviously, it'd be kind of funny if she aimed it at a different target, but it just went to someone else, or did, you know, self-inflicted damage, and that'd be kind of funny, but obviously it doesn't really make sense in the gameplay. I know there's a lot of Revolver enthusiasts out there that really dislike the flicking the, you know, cylinder back into place because it kind of messes with the system a little bit, and over time, if you do that continuously a lot, the Revolver is going to have a lot of cycling issues when you're trying to shoot the next round. So I understand, but it is kind of funny that she does it literally every single time. It goes to show that they probably have a lot of the extra firearms, considering hers is like standard issue Revolver. I feel like they have a lot of different copies, so if they ever go through them, they got more, you know, that they can use. I always think that's interesting with the firearms in the game that have a very specific, like, service number or something like that, rather than a actual normal name given to it. But with all that out of the way, let's move on to the conclusion.
Overall, like I said, I've really enjoyed painting this one. It's my very first Revolver, so learning how to shoot it was kind of a bitch, especially for a left-handed person. As you saw in the very minimal firing footage that we have for this one, my reloading skills need some work, whether it be single loading or with, you know, the speed loaders and stuff like that. These are really cool. I have 3 of them, and I just got to train with it more and, you know, practice overall, even with my grip and everything like that, because you have to hold them a little bit differently and everything like that. But it honestly was really fun to use. And when it comes to like Kirino's animations, it's pretty interesting. I probably said it during, you know, that section. Like every single time she reloads the damn thing, sorry fuds, she flings that bitch right back in. And that's just like, I know people hate that. I know some people hate that. I don't really give a shit. So, you know, it is pretty fun to do that from time to time. I didn't do it in any firing footage just because I wanted to get back into the action, but, you know, it is what it is. I know it has been a little bit since the last upload, but thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me that we've already surpassed 400 subscribers. That is fucking awesome. You guys are the absolute best. You guys really motivate me a lot to continue doing this as best I can. And if you follow me on Twitter, which a lot of you do, I imagine, but if you follow me on Twitter, I did post about some new, you know, acquisitions that I got from a local gun show, and oh, we got some really nice stuff. I've got three new project guns already that I'm gonna be working on, and hopefully get those pumped out in a decently timed manner. Maybe 1 to 2 uploads a month, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not gonna try to make any promises, but that's what I would like to do, I should say. My buddy that provides the land for us to shoot during our little, you know, our footage, he is moving away, so I might not have that place to do shooting all the time, but we might go somewhere else. I'll try to figure out as best I can, but as always, thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. You guys are the reason why I do this, and the girl of the blue archive are obviously the reason why I do this too. Thank you. Just thank you. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say other than thank you. I'm really, really, really excited for the future of the channel and just more of the projects that I have coming up. But with all that out of the way, I've been your host, Bridge, and I'll see you guys in the next one.